Hello and welcome. In this video we'll introduce Chapter 3 of the EU-CEM Handbook for CCAM. Chapter 3 provides guidelines for planning the evaluation and impact assessment work at the start of CCAM projects and for compiling a robust evaluation plan. The goal is to help you structure the work early so that your research questions, methods, data and experiments are aligned and remain realistic as the project evolves. A well-structured and validated evaluation plan helps ensure that what you intend to assess is feasible to execute in practice and that key choices are agreed upon and documented. It also helps you use consistent approaches and metrics. Chapter 3 is organised around 5 interconnected elements of an evaluation plan that will be discussed next. These elements influence each other, so the process of drafting an evaluation plan is typically iterative rather than strictly linear. First, the CCAM system description. It's recommended to start by clearly describing the CCAM systems you're evaluating. This includes, for example, the vehicle type, level of automation, operational design domain, and service concept. If the system tested in field experiments differs from the system you consider in impact assessment, those differences need to be specified explicitly. This sets the context for everything that follows. Second, research questions. It is important to formulate specific, answerable and relevant research questions that address knowledge gaps and align with your overall goals. These can be organised hierarchically, high-level questions supported by sub-questions, and prioritised. Consider research questions concerning both direct and indirect impacts, and, where relevant, also unintended impacts and impacts on non-users. As you prioritise research questions, the feasibility of each of them needs to be checked based on what data can realistically be collected, what methods you can apply, and what resources you have. Third, evaluation methods. This starts with selecting the methods and tools for evaluation that can be used to answer your various research questions. Then, indicators used in the answering of the research questions need to be defined. If your project relies on small-scale experiments but aims to address broader societal scenarios, you need to plan how you will scale up your findings in a credible way. Fourth, data specification and tools. Here, you need to specify what data you need, why you need it, and how it will be collected, processed, and shared. It is important to align early on data formats and processing approaches across partners to ensure consistency. You also need to agree, as early as possible, on roles and access rights related to data, as well as quality control of the delivered data. This ensures that data collection supports analysis rather than creates surprises later. Fifth, experimental design. Experiments need to be designed such that they provide fit-for-purpose data for your research questions and indicators. This step includes defining baseline and treatment conditions, deciding on participants for the experiment, and ensuring that the design is realistic given resources and regulatory constraints. If real-world testing is limited, you can consider complementary approaches such as simulations or virtual environments. A key point in making the evaluation plan is that these 5 elements are not a linear checklist you complete once. As you refine one element, you may need to revisit others. For example, if data availability changes, you may need to adjust research questions, indicators, methods, or experimental design. Iteration and alignment across these elements ensure that the final plan is feasible and resilient. Finally, Chapter 3 includes guidance on how to write the evaluation plan. Once the plan is stable, compile your final decisions into a coherent document that can be published and shared with all parties involved. Because planning is iterative, it is recommended to finalise the formal report only after the iterations are complete to avoid unnecessary rewriting. The final evaluation plan then serves as a guide for the evaluation work throughout the project. In summary, Chapter 3 is your roadmap for developing a comprehensive, feasible and adaptable evaluation plan in CCAM projects. For more details, consult the full EU-CEM Handbook and the examples and templates referenced in Chapter 3. Be sure to also check out Chapter 4, that provides guidance on the different impact areas and related assessment approaches.